Hey Bears fans, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Chicago Bears. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. Alright folks, hold on to your seats because this one's shaking the entire NFL landscape. The rumor mill has gone full throttle, and now it's official. Myles Garrett, yes, that Myles Garrett is heading to Chicago. The Bears have pulled off one of the most jaw-dropping trades in recent memory, finalizing a deal with the Cleveland Browns that's sending shockwaves across the league. People have been whispering for weeks that the Bears were looking to add a generational pass rusher, someone to completely redefine their defensive identity, but nobody thought this would actually happen. Garrett, a four-time Pro Bowler, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate every single season, and arguably one of the most feared defensive ends in the game, is leaving Cleveland, the team that drafted him first overall back in 2017, for a new chapter in the Windy City. Fans are already losing their minds on social media. Brown supporters are heartbroken and confused, while Bears Nation is partying like it's the Super Bowl. The Bears haven't had a defensive name this big since Khalil Mack, and the buzz around Hallis Hall is that this move could be the missing piece that finally turns Chicago back into a powerhouse contender. From what's coming out of sources close to the deal, this wasn't something that happened overnight. Negotiations reportedly started quietly after the Browns' front office began facing salary cap pressure and internal tension over the defensive scheme changes this offseason. Garrett, who's always been vocal about wanting to play with freedom and intensity, apparently didn't see eye to eye with the new direction Cleveland's defense was taking. Meanwhile, the Bears were desperate for a defensive superstar to anchor their young unit, especially after a season that showed flashes of potential but lacked that true game-changing presence in the trenches. GM Ryan Poles saw an opening and went all in, crafting an aggressive trade package that included multiple first-round picks, a star-level defensive player, and additional assets to make the numbers work. The risk is massive, no doubt, but for a player like Myles Garrett, teams don't hesitate. This is the kind of move that changes everything, both in the locker room and in the narrative surrounding a franchise that's been starving for relevance and dominance. And let's talk about the cultural impact this trade could have on Chicago's identity as a football city. The Bears have always been built on defense. It's in their DNA, from the monsters of the Midway to the legendary 1985 Super Bowl team. But for the past decade, that fire has faded. Chicago became known more for its quarterback struggles and front office chaos than its defensive pride. Bringing in Myles Garrett reignites that spark instantly. Imagine Garrett in Soldier Field, roaring crowds, brutal winds, and that iconic navy and orange uniform. It feels like destiny. Analysts are already drawing comparisons between Garrett and icons like Richard Dent or Brian Urlacher, saying this could be the move that returns the Bears to their defensive roots. He's not just a player, he's a statement. Chicago's saying to the league, we're done being average. And you can bet that every offensive coordinator in the NFC North just started losing sleep because facing Myles Garrett twice a year isn't just a game plan problem. It's a nightmare. Now, let's not ignore the Brown side of this because this move is equally shocking for Cleveland fans who've seen Garrett grow into the face of their franchise. Losing a player of his caliber doesn't happen without some serious behind-the-scenes drama. Reports suggest the relationship between Garrett and the front office have been cooling for months. Some say it stemmed from frustration over inconsistent team performance and locker room chemistry. Others point to the coaching philosophy shift that didn't suit his style. Either way, this is the kind of blockbuster that feels bittersweet for Cleveland. They get assets, sure, valuable picks and talent that could help rebuild, but you don't replace a player like Myles Garrett easily. This isn't just about production. It's about presence. He changed games. He changed energy. For the Browns, this might be a move to reset their culture and future, but fans are rightfully asking, was it worth it? Time will tell, but right now, Chicago looks like the clear winner. What makes this story even juicier is how this could reshape the entire NFC North dynamic. The Lions are on the rise. The Vikings are rebuilding, and the Packers are figuring out life without Aaron Rodgers. But the Bears? They just sent a message loud and clear that they're done being underdogs. MYLES Garrett brings not only elite pass rushing ability, but also leadership, swagger, and a level of intimidation that's contagious. You can already picture the ripple effect. Young players like Jervin Dexter and Montez Sweat will feed off that energy, the linebackers will play looser, and the secondary will have more time to make plays. It's a domino effect that could completely change Chicago's defensive ceiling. And let's be real, pairing Garrett with Matt Eberflus' defensive mind is going to be fascinating. The Bears coach loves aggression and versatility. Now he's got a player who embodies both. If the offense continues to grow under Caleb Williams, this team could suddenly go from a rebuilding project to a legitimate playoff contender overnight. And so, as we digest all of this chaos, one thing's clear. This trade is more than just a roster move. It's a statement about ambition. The Bears, for the first time in years, are acting like a franchise that believes it can win now. For MYLES Garrett, it's a fresh start, a chance to lead a new era and cement his legacy in one of the NFL's most historic franchises. For Cleveland, it's an end of an era, maybe even a painful reset, but sometimes you have to break something great to build something greater. The shockwaves of this deal will echo for seasons to come, and whether it ends in glory or regret, one thing's undeniable. This will go down as one of the boldest, most talked about trades in modern NFL history. MYLES Garrett is a Bear, folks, and the league will never be the same again. The dust is still settling, but insiders are already hinting that this move could have been in the works for months, even if the public never caught wind of it. Word around the league is that Ryan Poles and the Bears front office began testing the waters back in late summer, quietly gauging what it would take to pry Garrett away from Cleveland. It wasn't just about cap space, it was about vision. The Bears have been rebuilding brick by brick, drafting young talent, building a foundation on both sides of the ball, but everyone knew they lacked a superstar who could elevate the entire roster. When whispers began that Garrett might be frustrated with internal changes in Cleveland, Chicago jumped at the chance. What's interesting is that some sources claim Garrett himself pushed for this, wanting a fresh start in a city that lives and breathes defense. Imagine that. One of the best players in football looking at Chicago and saying, "That's where I belong." It's poetic in a way, and if true, it explains why the Bears didn't blink at the asking price. They wanted him, and now they've got him, no matter the cost. And speaking of cost, let's break that down because this wasn't cheap. According to those close to the negotiation, the Bears gave up 2 first-round picks, 1 second-rounder, and defensive tackle Andrew Billings to sweeten the pot. That's a massive haul, one that could have built a franchise from scratch. But again, you don't get MYLES Garrett without paying a premium. The Browns, from their perspective, walk away with flexibility, both financially and strategically. They're reportedly eyeing the upcoming draft class with the intent to reinforce their defense through youth, and they've cleared significant cap space in the process. Still, it's hard to justify losing a once-in-a-generation player, especially one who defined their defensive identity. Bears fans, on the other hand, couldn't care less about the price tag right now. They're fired up, jerseys are flying off the shelves, and the buzz around Chicago is electric. For a fan base that's been through years of heartbreak and mediocrity, this feels like the start of something real, something worth believing in again. But let's dive into what Garrett brings on the field, because this isn't just about name recognition. This is about impact. We're talking about a player who recorded double-digit sacks in 5 straight seasons, who wrecks offensive lines with speed, power, and technique that looks almost unfair. He's a game wrecker, plain and simple. And in Chicago's defensive scheme, he's going to have even more freedom to unleash that chaos. The Bears' front 4 already had potential, but now it's terrifying. Offensive coordinators will have to completely rethink their blocking schemes when they face Chicago. You can't double Garrett on every snap, not when you've got Sweat on the other side. That balance is deadly. And with linebackers like Tremaine Edmonds cleaning up behind them, you can see the picture forming. A defense that doesn't just stop drives, it ends them violently. This is the kind of acquisition that makes opponents hesitate before calling a play, that shifts momentum before the ball is even snapped. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Off the field, though, this move could redefine the Bears culture just as much. Garrett isn't just a superstar athlete. He's known for his work ethic, his leadership, and his presence in the locker room. The guy commands respect. Younger players gravitate toward him, and that's exactly what Chicago's locker room needs right now. A tone setter. A guy who shows up early, leads by example, and demands excellence. Reports suggest that he's already spoken to some of the Bears' defensive leaders, expressing his excitement to build something special and help restore Chicago's defensive pride. That's the kind of language that sends chills down a fan's spine. When you combine Garrett's mentality with the grit that this team's been developing, you can sense a shift coming. Suddenly, the Bears aren't just a team trying to rebuild. They're a team that expects to win, a team with a face, a voice, and a fire that's contagious. Still, there's always the other side of the coin, pressure. The expectations are going to be enormous. Myles Garrett isn't coming to Chicago to just play well. He's coming to be a savior, a symbol of hope, and that's a lot to carry. If the team struggles early, fans will question whether the trade was worth it. If injuries hit or chemistry falters, critics will be quick to pounce. But if it clicks, and that's a big if, then the payoff could be historic. The Bears haven't had a top-5 defense in years, but now, with Garrett leading the charge, that's not just possible, it's expected. And that's exactly how great teams are built, through bold, fearless decisions. It's risky, sure, but that's what separates franchises that dream from those that achieve. Myles Garrett's arrival means the Bears are betting on greatness, and sometimes that's the only way to win big in the NFL. So here we are, watching the start of a new era unfold. The Cleveland Browns close a chapter, maybe one filled with what-ifs and unrealized potential, while the Chicago Bears open one that could redefine their legacy. Fans will debate this trade for years, but right now, it's all emotion, all adrenaline, all hype. Myles Garrett wearing navy blue. It still feels surreal, but it's real. The kind of real that shakes the ground beneath the NFL. Chicago's defense just got its monster back, and the city's heartbeat just got louder. From the streets of Cleveland to the skyline of Chicago, this trade isn't just football news, it's football history in motion. And as the Bears gear up for what's next, one thing's certain. Every quarterback in the league just circled their calendar for the day they face Myles Garrett, and every Bears fan just started dreaming again. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.